The Kevin Clash scandal continues to escalate. Yesterday, accuser number 3, who has chosen to remain anonymous, filed a federal lawsuit under the name of John Doe. In it, he accuses Kevin Clash of sexual misconduct going back to when John Doe was a minor. 2 days ago, we brought you an exclusive interview with accuser number 2, Cecil Singleton, who has filed a $5 million lawsuit, civil suit, against Clash. Watch this. It started when you were 15. It lasted many years. Was it a highly charged sexual relationship that you had trouble leaving?
Not at all.
So there was not a sexual relationship here?
There was a sexual relationship.
And you kept going back. There must have been something about this relationship that you liked.
I would have to say the thing that stuck out to me the most about him was, for years, he was seemingly the nicest, the most respectful, and the man that courted me in the most proper way.
Tonight, accuser number 3 joins us in his first exclusive interview. He has asked to be on the phone and to have his voice disguised. With me here in New York is the lawyer for accuser number 2 and number 3, Jeff Herman. Jeff, before I talk to accuser number 3, are you surprised that more men are coming forward?
No, not at all. I mean, this is the thing I see all the time in these kinds of cases. A lot of victims sort of suffer in silence, don't come forward, but when they see other victims coming forward, number one, they feel it's safe, and there's this collective empowerment that they get from each other. And number two, when they see other victims being challenged to their veracity, whether they're telling the truth, they think to themselves, well, you know what? I need to come forward because this happened to me.
I need to support that guy that when they're doubting a guy when I know what the truth is.
Exactly.
All right. The accuser number 3, we're calling him John Doe. And, of course, as I said, he's on the phone. He's asked to have his voice distorted so he could not be identified. He's out there as a career. He's out in the world, right? He doesn't
Correct.
want this to become a problem. He's also, in his suit, not specifying any particular damages from a monetary standpoint.
That's right. He's trying to send a message that this is more about him supporting the other victims.
All right. John Doe, let me go to you. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. I only came forward once I saw Cecil's story being so similar to the experience that I had with him.
And what was your relationship like with Kevin? When did it start? When did it become sexual? Was it a romantic relationship? Please take us through it.
Well, initially, it started, I was blessed with the opportunity to begin modeling when I was in high school. And while in the city, I called a chat line to find out places to go, in the area, because where I'm from, there isn't really a gay scene. And Craig responded to my ad. Craig wanted to meet me.
Who's Craig,
I refused
John?
the initial. That's
John,
the
who's
name
Craig?
that Kevin used. Yes,
Okay.
He said his name was Craig. And he called me for a few times while I was in town, and finally I met up with him, and once we met up, I let it be known that, I wasn't going to be doing anything sexual, that wasn't my intent, just to talk. So we ended up talking, and we had a cocktail, it was actually Grey Goose and cranberry. And
you were 16 at the time?
Yes, I was. And
Were you out in a public place? Wait, hold on a second. So you were served alcohol?
No,
was that
I
in
met
a
him
public
at
place?
home.
At home. Okay, go ahead.
No, I met it with him at home. Yeah, met it with him at home. It was the day after I did a shoot. I went to his place, and we ended up talking. One thing led to the other, we ended up making out, and he touched my behind and saw that I was tight, that I had not had sex, and I could tell that turned him on. So, and then, after that, things it stopped, and I ended up leaving because I had to get back to New Jersey, where I was staying with the rest of the family.
So you were a virgin at the time, and at what point did this become sexual?
It didn't become sexual until after I moved to New York.
How old were you?
I moved to New York. I was 18 once I moved to New York and began college.
So this is somewhat different. This is somewhat different than the previous allegations in that you were not a minor when you began having sex with him.
Oral took place. That the hot, heavy kissing, there was oral involved. But other than that, no, there was no penetration until I was of age. Because,
did you fall in love with him?
To save myself.
Did you fall in love with him?
I did. I did. I fell in love with Kevin. I still have feelings for Kevin, and this has been really challenging in this entire process. not to the level where they were, but I really am concerned about his well-being. I personally would like to see that he does get help, because more guys are coming out of the woodwork, and obviously for me it shows a pattern of a sickness, and I really would love to see that, he gets help, because he really is a great person. All of our moments were not horrible. Kind of like Sissel said, he did at the beginning. He courted. It was beautiful. It was like a Prince Charming. I felt like I met the man of my dreams. I even got past the fact that he did lie about his age and his name wasn't Craig. It was obvious he was a lot older, but it's just, he took my breath away. But through that process of me living in New York and going to school and still trying to balance a career, he was very demanding. Like when Kevin wanted me there, regardless of what time it was, I dropped what I was doing and I was there, like it was expected. If I were out with friends at a movie, and
you said you were. Let me say, John, me interrupt you. You said you were in love with Kevin. Did you think this was an exclusive relationship? And if so, is part of the reason you're coming forward you're angry with the pattern of behavior?
I did feel that it was exclusive. There was a point in time where I did come witness to him being involved with someone else. I dropped by his apartment unannounced, and there was evidence that someone else was in the apartment. And I was angry then. I can't say I wasn't angry, but for me, I was like, you know what? This relationship obviously is what it is, and I have to accept it for what it is because I love this person, so I'm going to love them for faults and all. I really thought this has to be a money thing, who this person is. This has to be. But then when the Sissel story happened, I saw he was being attacked and people accused him of lying. I was like, I have to, validate this guy's story because he isn't lying. And to answer your question about anger, if I was angry, I would have released my book when I wanted to. Part of the reason I didn't release my book in 2009 is because you shouldn't act when you're angry and you have hatred towards someone, because you might regret what you decide to do.
Okay, so let me explain to my viewers that, John, I want to explain something because people haven't heard about your book yet, that he was writing a book. A couple chapters included some of his experiences with Kevin, and you called him, I guess, the tickler in those chapters. Is that right?
I did. I called him the tickler.
Why is that?
And when I wrote the...
Why the tickler?
Tickle me Elmo. That's where it came from. I didn't want to exploit his name at that point. I was writing it in a way that people could figure it out. I actually named someone else in that chapter Kevin, so maybe people would put two and two together, but I never wanted to just blatantly say Kevin Clash was my ex-boyfriend. Because I didn't want to, I never wanted to ruin his career. That has not been my purpose in doing any of this. I think he's amazing at what he does.
It is a sad sort of aspect of this case that it has ruined his career and taken down something that, that's the complicated aspect of this case. But listen, I'm going to keep talking to you, John, all right? So stay with me. We've got a lot more to go through. CNN, HLN cannot independently confirm any of what we're hearing here today. In fact, we're also going to hear a voicemail that John Doe says Kevin Clash left for him, was being provided by his attorney. Jeff was here with me now. We're going to hear that, play that. That voicemail was left about 10 days ago. Is that right? Something like that? A couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. We'll be back to hear that. More with John Doe after this.